Where in your life are you treating yourself with conditional love? When you ask yourself this question and you confront all the shame and the judgment that you are carrying towards yourself, it is in these very same spaces that you are being invited to grow, to heal, and to expand. First, I want to tell you a story from my own life. So I am someone who deeply identifies as a speaker. I love speaking. I love singing. I believe that a huge medium that I am here to create through, to create with, to share is the voice. That my throat chakra is open and I am here to speak and express and sing and grow in terms of how I share and express my voice with the world. How I receive the universe, the cosmos, the gifts of life, the poetry, and the potency of this life experience, I truly believe is meant to be channeled through my voice. And then what did Spirit do? What did the universe do? I am having so many challenges for the past few months with my voice. And it has been very heartbreaking. I'm grateful I still have a voice. There are people who lose their voices. There is throat cancer. There are many different things that happen with the voice. But I've been deeply grappling with this very thing that I identify as and with and through is the same thing that in order to heal, I've been asked to step back from doing. I've been asked to not speak. I've been asked to rest my voice. And for someone who is so, in a sense, overly identified with my voice, it has been very challenging to ask myself, well, then who am I without this way of expressing? And it's not only here on the Soul Salon podcast, which is part of my soul's work. Like I have asked myself, when I die, what do I want to have left on this planet? And this is one of those things. This is one of the primary things that I want to leave this earth with. And so when I think about my purpose, I don't understand what it would be without my voice. And obviously anxiety goes to the worst case scenario. What if I never speak again? What if I never speak the same again? What if I never feel as much ease as I used to feel? And I know this is all happening for a reason and for a purpose, but it's really invited me to hold myself with unconditional love and say, even if that happens, I still love you. You are still purposeful. You are still meaningful. You are still powerful. And you don't have to hold this conditional value towards yourself where if you are speaking or expressing, making videos, I imagine myself in the physical world sharing my voice. And now I'm like, can I even imagine those things? And I just want to send so much love because I know there are people who are grappling with so many health challenges. And I know that when we face challenges with our health, it almost feels like, wow, I actually had everything. I just want to go back. Ignore all the things I was calling in or manifesting or dreaming about. I just want to go back to what I already had. And this is if you've had a life of health. Many people from birth, they've had health challenges, chronic pain, chronic health issues. So I just want to send so much love to you. I'm not trying to, we're all going through this human experience through the lens of our experience. And so I also want to hold love for, more severe health challenges and more severe vocal challenges and voice things. And also I want to hold love for my own experience, which is that. And we can do all the things. I just want to send so much love to anyone who is facing any sort of health challenge. A lot of the advice on following our purpose or on showing up for our dreams or our calling can often be tied to just the willpower, just show up. But I remember I had this one coaching client who was amazing and she joined one of my containers and her health would not permit her to do that work. And so it was a very clarifying and humbling experience that we channel our entire purpose through our bodies. Our bodies are vessels for our souls. And so if we are not physically well, we can't, that needs to be the priority, is healing. And that often asks us to rest. And so something that I shared on one of my episodes that I've been thinking about is this idea of aligned action. And aligned action can also be rest. You may be being asked to rest. Even as I make this video, I'm not even sure that I should be making it because I don't like the word should, but because I know my voice is asking me to rest, but it's so hard for me. I mean, I haven't made a video in many weeks. Videos I posted have been videos created before, but I've been struggling with this is something that I need to do and my body is asking me not to do it. So the reason why I'm telling you what I'm going through with my own voice, my love, is that I want to ask you in your life, where in your life, whether it's your appearance and toxic beauty standards, and not only from society, but from your family, from your friends, from community, from early childhood experiences, is that a space where you hold yourself with conditional reverence? Like you don't revere yourself. You may be put up with yourself. You maybe do the things that you feel you have to do to be able to stand yourself, but there isn't the sense of unconditional love. And this is where it's so important to remember that as much as we are spiritual beings, we're calling in a higher frequency, we're calling in healing, we're doing so within these deeply political systems, that it's very hard in a society like this to love yourself unconditionally when from basically the womb you've been taught not to. So it's very important, I think, to name that. And I'm always doing my best to name the things. And I often, when I'm editing my videos, I'm like, you didn't say this, and you didn't say that, and you didn't say that. And it's like, I am a finite being channeling the infinite, and there will always be more to say, which is a soul session I have. So where are you holding yourself, my love, with conditional reverence? And can you invite yourself to expand how much love you think you can hold for yourself? And I know you may think, oh yes, love yourself, like I've heard this before, but I still find, some of the wisdom that we really are being asked to embody, I feel like if I listen, we have heard before, but we haven't embodied. And because we've been tricked into the mind, we think because we understand it on an intellectual level, the work is done. But we over here know the highest level of knowledge is embodiment. It's not the person who wrote the book on what it was like to be a freedom fighter. It's the person who was the freedom fighter. And if that's the same person, great. It's not the person who went and studied what it was. It's the person who lived that reality. And it can be a combination of both. But embodied wisdom, intuition, like wisdom that's so deep in your subconscious that you know it intuitively, that's kind of one of the highest forms of knowing. And so we know we need to love ourselves and that there's this opportunity to love ourselves. But many of us, that's not our day-to-day experience of ourselves. When you look in the mirror, when we create art, when we say the wrong thing to a friend, or quote unquote the wrong thing, right? We're not holding ourselves with unconditional love. We're holding ourselves with judgment, with shame, with blame, with comparison and not feeling good enough. And what I invite is this affirmation that I want to give to you, a soul formation, let's call it. And it's, I love myself unconditionally. And I've been saying this to myself several times in a day to try and more deeply embody this wisdom. I love myself unconditionally. If you never speak again, I love you. Oh, I just felt something. If you never sing again, if I never speak again, I want to know that I love myself. And I'm a heal, wish me healing, but I will heal. But if this video is not good enough, quote unquote, I love myself unconditionally. If when I'm editing it, I'm like, oh, you should have said this, and you should have done this, and you should have said that, I love myself unconditionally. So I invite you to say this to yourself, not just I love myself, because we've said that to ourselves. I love myself unconditionally, because the conditions they've slid in. So when we just say we love ourselves, all those conditions and terms and conditions are beneath the surface. I love myself when I'm succeeding. I love myself when people are validating me. I love myself when I'm making progress. I love myself when I'm showing up in a certain way for my morning rituals and routines. When we find unconditional love, and you know what the most beautiful part of this is, my love, is that any challenge you go through becomes an invitation into the classroom of this lesson. So maybe I lost my voice because the universe knew there was a deeper level of unconditional love available to me and through me. And it wanted me to confront myself. Maybe, what if? Confront myself and confront how I've been overly identifying myself with this one gift and how I have not been loving the version of myself who cannot access that gift because we are living in this material world. We face health challenges. We live, we die, we get sick. And so that is an invitation to expand my vessel, my capacity for love. So what if, when you edit the video and you don't like it and you think, oh, why did it have to happen this way? And you think it's a mistake. What if the universe is like, oh, we want her to love herself, even when to her egoic mind, she's not creating art that is excellent. Ooh. So what are all the invitations that the universe is gifting to you and through you for unconditional love? Remembering that if you become an embodiment of unconditional love towards thyself, that will radiate through you. All the judgment that you have towards others, as we know, is the way that you judge the part of yourself that they mirror back to you. So I always judge people who talk too much at the dinner table. They take up all the space and they don't create space for others. But then clearly there's a part of me, they're mirroring a part of me that I don't accept. Now, it's a more complex issue, but we're just going to leave it there. So if they are an image of a part of me, then I can just invite myself to love them unconditionally. So I love myself unconditionally. What challenges have I faced that if I looked at them through the lens of love's invitation, of unconditional love's invitation, I might shift my perspective. Maybe you've gone through a period of loneliness. Maybe the universe knows you truly identify with all your relationships that you have in your life, and it wanted to strip those away for a period of your life so you could find unconditional love and acceptance within yourself. Now, we have a loneliness, especially in Western countries, epidemic where the society and capitalism and white supremacy and all these systems and the nuclear family has created a structure of isolation. So I'm not trying to say, well, we can just unconditional love our way out of those things. Absolutely not. It's always the both and it's always the fact that a system is a macrocosm of a microcosm that needs to be healed. So people will say colonialism started whenever the colonizers first colonized, whether it was on the continent of Africa, America, Asia. But actually, colonialism started in the spirit of the colonizer before they even got to those places. Oh my gosh. Oh my word, it's like I'm a speaker. I'm here to speak. What's going on? Oh my gosh. Just let me be well so I can go back to my soul craft. Okay. So colonialism started in the spirit of the colonizer before they even got on that ship and arrived. Because what was so broken within them that when they got to those places, when they got to what is now Nigeria, South Africa, when they got to what is now Brazil, when they got to what is now India, they said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to brutalize. Actually, you know what? I'm not even going to, because there are people watching this who don't need to be re-traumatized. But there was something broken within them already. And so that is the spiritual revolution we need. It is at that level, because what is in them, that capacity, what is inside the spirit of the being, that is what needs to be addressed. The same with Israel. What is in the spirit of a state that can do that, and the United States, what is in the spirit of a state that can do that, that is what my fundamental, that's what my question is. And that's at the level that it needs to be addressed and solved. Okay, so when we create a reality of unconditional love towards ourselves, we create the possibility of heaven on earth. Why? Because a being who has unconditional love for themselves has no need to cause harm to any other living creature on this planet. They are living in harmony. They are an embodiment of harmony. Why? Because we criticize violence when it is on the outside, but we commit and have been made to commit violence on the inside. So, since we are the piece of life that we are stewards of, and we are the piece of life that we get to truly understand, we get to experience this whole macrocosm and this whole universe through the lens of this here body, this here soul, this here mind, this here heart. If we can create inner peace here, if we can create unconditional love here, if we can create unconditional reverence right here, this piece of life that only I am, that wisdom that we will have embodied on a collective level by doing that will rise us. What if, I don't know anything for sure, what if that will rise us to the collective capacity to experience and become the conditions, using Michael Beckwith's language, to become the conditions of collective heaven on earth. Do you hear what I'm saying? You hear what I'm speaking? So it's a both and. But this inner transformation, all spiritual teachers have taught us, deeply important, deeply critical, is if we see something on the outside, we see persecution on the outside, we should absolutely on the outside be criticizing that. And also we can look in and say, just like me. 3 words that changed my life from Pema Chodron, the Buddhist teacher, just like me. Oh my word, changed my life. Changed how I relate to every living being on this earth. But you know what, babes? My voice can only go so far. So we're going to talk about that on tomorrow's Soul Session. Now, this has been such a vibe, such a joy, such a gift, for me at least. I want to tell you that if you want to be in this frequency live, live, as in Then on July 2nd, literally next week, Wednesday, depending on when this reaches you, July 2nd, 2025, I'm having a live workshop all about transforming our dreams into reality. So if this speaks to you and through you, it's going to be a vibe. We already have people signing up, and early bird is ending on Friday. If you want to come and talk about what it actually takes to do the daily work, actually wait first. Oh my word, I forgot. I did a poll on YouTube, on my newsletter, and on Instagram, asking all of you soul siblings, what do you want to learn most from me? Is it fear of being seen? Is it multi-passionate? Is it mid-year check-in? Or is it dream to reality? Not the fantasy, but the actual daily work of committing to your dream. And that is what won across all platforms unanimously. And so since it won unanimously, like, we need to be there together. Unanimous means like it's going to be us. So you can go to my website. Actually, no, it's not on my website. You can go to this link to learn more. It's in the show notes, it's in the low notes, it's in the go notes. You can just, it's going to be a vibe, babes. There's going to be a guided meditation. And there's nothing like a live call to be in the energy of fellow soul siblings who also have within them, in their hearts, in their souls, a vision that they cannot let go, and a vision that won't let them go. And not only do they have that vision, they're actually committed to embodying that vision in this lifetime. That's a very magnetic frequency. I'm obsessed with people like that. I'm obsessed with people who they have ideas and then they work on bringing them to life. It's a very powerful energy to be in the energy of people like that. And I'm a person like that, and you're a person like that. So come join us. And I'll see you next week. And I'm so grateful to be back. Like, I'm speaking. Please let me not pay for this. Except with further unconditional love for myself. I'm sending you so much love. I'm hoping you hold yourself with unconditional love and reverence. You are divine, you are whole, you are magical. And there's nothing outside of you that could ever put a limit, put a restraint on your infinite divinity and worthiness. And hopefully you already know this, and I'm just here to mirror that knowledge and that wisdom back to you. I'm sending you so much love, so much joy, so much light, and so much reverence. Thank you for being on this journey with me, and I will see you on the next soul session. I love you. Bye. My darling, my love, my soul sibling, thank you for stepping into the Soul Salon. If you are still hearing or watching this, we are soul siblings. We are resonating on the same frequency. And so something you may struggle with, that I struggle with, is the fear of being seen. You know that visibility is involved in you living your creative purpose and being in your power, serving the collective through your gifts, through your magic, through your medicine. In order to do that, you need to be more seen than you are allowing yourself to be right now. I have a gift just for you, heart-made for us on this frequency, and it is a free ebook called the Soulful Visibility Guide. That is soulful visibility. Like, we don't just want to be seen, we want to be felt, we want to be heard, we want to move and be moved. So I do have a free gift for you, and all you need to do is go to my website, ayandastood.com, and there you will be able to input your email address and receive this directly to your inbox. This is such a juicy and delicious guide, and I change the free offering every few months, so get it while you can. All the links are in the show notes. So thank you so much. I love you, and I will see you on the next soul session. Okay, I love you. Bye.